Welcome back everybody. So in this video I will talk about 5 insanely cheap stocks right now to buy. So before we get started, please hit that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you are new here, consider subscribing so you don't want to miss out on any other videos that I post. And if you want to get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, 3 days of live trading, then check out the Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description, and it's actually worth every penny, and you can also support the channel. And now let's get right into the first one, which is XPeng. And you can see Chinese market is crashing. And also this is actually a EV company right here, right? And what's happening with Tesla, the big dog, dumping bad earnings. And look at this one here, guys. I mean, last time from $7.51, look at this thing, up to $23.62. Now, I'm not expecting a move up to $23.62. I'm just giving you guys an example how much things can run. And right now, XPeng, I think there is a great opportunity, especially if this thing can hold right here, $8.90. I mean, yes, this thing can come down, possibly retest 750 right here. That is a great opportunity on XPeng to make some money, especially when we get that reversal to the upside. And how we get that? There is no way, right? This thing is dumping, and look at all these gaps. So I think what's going to happen in next maybe few weeks, we could see XPeng. I mean, it did already. I mean, look at this, from 890, huge bounce up to almost 1050. So I'm not talking about like making 200% on XPeng, but I think there is, easily you can make, if you're buying shares, 20 to 30%, and if you're buying option and going long, easily you can make 40 to 50%. And if you're lucky and this thing, gets up to 23 again, who knows, maybe, you can even make 500% on XPeng. So the levels to watch on XPeng, and I'm looking at it also going into next week to get some shares. I already have NEO shares, and XPeng also I'm trying to get some maybe calls or shares. I don't know what I'm going to do, but Monday morning, definitely I'm looking at it. It's insanely cheap. Look at the market cap, $8.46 billion. And this thing with all these gaps, I mean, even if this thing gets up to 11 bucks, I'm happy with that, guys. So I think XPeng, a great opportunity right now, especially below 9 bucks. And if this thing drops under 890, then it's coming down here, and you can see lower Bollinger Band also pointing down. And that means one thing, yes, there could be more downside. So if you're buying here, definitely make sure you have a stop. And if this thing actually drops down to 750, maybe you can get a better entry. Now, resistance to watch on XPeng, you can see 5-day moving average right here, $9.26. Only above that, you're going to see a move up to 960, and then we can talk about this gap right up here, 1053, and then this gap also right up here, 1170. And I think if this thing gets up to like 1172 right here to 12, that is good enough for XPeng. But I think in a long run, like this thing reversed from this low here, easily can get up to 14-15 bucks and even higher. On NEO, it's up 1.66%, and I'm not talking about a long-term investment here on all these stocks right here. I'm talking about a short-term swing trade, so don't get me wrong. These are not the ones where you go long and you hold a couple years. I mean, you can, it's up to you, but I would not go long on NEO or XPeng. Chinese stocks are a bit risky, guys. So yes, but in the short term, swing trade definitely possible, maybe 6 to 8 weeks out. And who knows, you might not even need 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, look at this pump from 580 back up to right here, almost 7. So that's all you need on NEO and XPeng and all the other stocks in this video. Now, NEO here, you can see, you can call it a double bottom right here. Off of the support, 580, huge bounce. Came back off the support, 580, huge bounce. And now holding 5-day moving average, sitting at $6 right here. So on NEO going into Monday, you want to watch $6 down here as a support, and then 580, and below 580 you're going to see another new low, and that's gonna be flat $5. Now NEO can hold right here at 6, then watch out for a move up to 655, possibly up to even 7, and then this gap 7.16 up to even 754 50-day moving average. Now NEO can get above all these moving averages right here. 754 will be the level to break, and if that happens, that is a reversal, and you could see NEO going all the way up to almost $9 to close this gap. And not to mention, we got so many gaps to the upside, and if this thing actually reverses, we could see some of these gaps getting filled very soon on NEO. On CLEQ, and that is Chinese Tech ETF, it's down on the day 1.80%, and you can see this thing actually getting crushed. I mean, look at this, guys. In just a couple months, 2 months, from 38 bucks down to 30. And not to mention, I mean, look at this high, 44, just sliding down, straight down. And look at US Tech going straight up to a fresh new all-time high pretty much every day. And all the other indices except small caps. And that is concerning because Chinese market also a big market, and you can see a big tech name or tech ETF right here taking a massive beating, and you can see, you know, hitting 30 bucks. And we saw a bit of a bounce here, and now again pulling back. So here on CLEQ, what to look for as a support, we clearly broke through 31.54, and look at this right here, not even holding 5-day moving average, 31.23. So that means you got a nice opportunity going into next week. This thing can drop again down to 30.18, and that's gonna be a level to watch as a support, and this massive gap will get closed on CLEQ. Now we get a bounce on this one. We also have a gap on top. Watch out for the resistance at 31.54 to this gap 31.59, and if this thing can cross and get above 31.59, we could see a move all the way up to 32.82 to this gap 32.90 up to even 33.44. And I think what's going to happen, we could see just like NEO, this thing coming down, and we could see a double bottom off of the support. And once we get a reversal, and look at the way we get a reversal here on CLEQ. Look at the volume right here, and then the next day, huge gap up. So we need something like this, and that's why I think at least in the short term, this thing can go up to, I would say 33 to even 35 bucks right here, 50-day moving average, and that would be 4 to 6 weeks, maybe even 8 weeks, depending on, you know, of course, how things are running in China. So the next one is JD, which is down on the day 0.29%, and I've been waiting for this one to get down to at least $21 to $22 so I can get some calls on JD, but it's not coming down right now. And you can see, I mean, this thing from 2082, we got massive volume on that day, and then this thing gapped up from 21.74 and then ran up to $24 right here. So that was a big move, and totally missed it, but I think JD can easily get up to $28 to $30, and that is why I think this is also a great opportunity for a swing trade. Now here on JD, I'm still waiting. I'm not here in the stock yet. I'm waiting for JD to come down to at least 22 right down here. 22.60, that's gonna be a strong support, and just below that, this gap down here just under 22. So these are gonna be the levels to watch on JD. Now also, JD breaks out above 24. Watch out for this gap here on top, 24.64, which is also in line with this 20-day moving average, just above, close to 25. So above 24, watch out for the resistance at 24.64 to 25. And if this thing can clear 25 all the way up here, 20-day moving average. Then watch out for a big move all the way up to 25.80, up to even all three gaps right here on top. And that is why this thing can go up to $28 to $30 anytime we get that breakout on JD. And the last one is Baba, and this thing is up today 0.22%, nothing big. And you can see $75 right here. That's a big resistance, and this is one of those big companies in China, and you can see this thing taking a massive beating. I mean, look at this, guys, coming down and making a new low, 66.63. But immediately this thing can go up, and we all know that we got a big bounce, almost $10 from the low. So now if this thing actually pulling back to close this gap, and I don't know if this thing actually going to come down and close this gap completely, but at least I would say down to 71.48, down to even 70. That is a great opportunity on Baba, and this is the only one I think, even if you're going long, it's okay as long as your position is not that big. Now here on Baba, if you look at my screen, strong resistance right here. It cannot get above 75. And also, if you look at my screen, the good news here on Baba, it's trying to break above 50-day moving average right here, 74.50. And so far, we do have a rising 5-day moving average, and that is holding as a support at 73. You can see low for the day also 72.92. So it's holding right here, 20-day moving average and rising 5-day moving average sitting at $73 right here. So that's going to be support to watch going into Monday's session. And below that, we also have 13-day moving average 71.48, and then the support, strong support at 70, and then this gap 68.74. But at any time, Baba can actually clear 75. You're going to see a move up to 76.82, this gap right here. And I think if this thing can clear 76.82, it's going straight up all the way up to 80. And at some point, we could see Baba coming up here and filling this massive gap on top just under 86. So these are some great opportunities, but it actually requires some patience, and you cannot just get in and get out quickly. You just have to wait, because it's not like it's on an uptrend. These are, a strong downtrend on all these names, and you got to be careful. You got to have a stop. So if you're trading, definitely have a stop and respect that stop loss if you're buying it, and just wait, because you cannot flip it next day unless you get a big gap up like this one that we got on Baba. And that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section.